This is Fitness Blender's 5-minute Booty Blast Challenge. In this workout routine, we're going to be doing 5 different exercises for 1 minute each with no rest in between. The only rest you get is moving from one exercise to the next. Now this routine doesn't use any equipment, so you're not going to need anything other than an optional exercise mat, and we haven't included a warm-up or a cool-down, so you'll want to add one in. Let's go ahead and get started with our first exercise, the leg lifts. We're going to be doing 1 minute on that right leg first. Now you can do this either from your elbows like we're doing here or from your hands, just whichever's more comfortable. Your elbows give you just a little bit more range of motion, but both of them focus on that butt just as well. Now make sure that you're tucking that knee underneath you every single time, just a little bit of a crunch with those abdominal muscles, using that hip flexor just a tiny bit, giving that butt a tiny bit of a rest, and then press that leg right back up again, going to a full extension as you get up to the top of that range of motion. Just keep going back and forth. It's just the same leg. If you're feeling that left hip cramp up on you a little bit, then you need to lean a little bit more of your weight into your right elbow, and that should take care of it. Just keep that motion going nice and smooth under control. Tight squeeze at the top every single time. Now as you're doing this motion, make sure you're concentrating on your core muscles as well, pulling that belly button in nice and tight, contracting those abdominal muscles as well as those obliques and that lower back. You want to make sure everything's nice and tight. Now we're almost done. We've got just about 5 seconds left until we switch to a right side pulse. So you're going to use that same exact leg, you're just going to keep it up really nice and high. And go and switch that short pulse. You're at the very top of that range of motion, just a few inches at the top of that range of motion. Get a tight squeeze every single time. You want to really burn that butt muscle out. Now I know that butt's probably got a good burn going on it right about now, but keep pushing through it. Make sure every single pulse is really nice and solid. We've only got a few seconds left until we switch over to that left leg. Keep it going, nice tight pulse. And go ahead and let it relax. Bring that left leg up. Same exact motion as you did on the other side. Bending that knee underneath your body and then extending it out completely straight as you get up to the top of that range of motion. Tight squeeze in that butt every single time. Now you're probably going to be feeling that right glute, that right butt muscle cramping up on you quite a bit. So remember, just lean more weight into your left elbow. Get your weight forward and off to the left, and it should let that muscle relax just a little bit. Now keep focusing on that left leg, get a nice tight squeeze every single time, and keep checking those core muscles. Make sure that abdominal muscles pulled in really nice and tight, those obliques and that lower back, everything through that core should be completely solid. Make sure that leg that you're kneeling down on, that right leg, that thigh and that hamstring are also contracted, as well as getting that nice tight squeeze on that left leg. Now we are almost done, just about 5 seconds left. We're going to switch off to that pulse here in just a second. Keep that motion going, nice and fluid, tight squeeze at the top. This is the last one, freeze up the top, short pulses. Remember, just a couple of inches at the very top of that range of motion, squeezing as hard as you can at the top every single time. Just keep it going, burn that muscle out just a little bit more. And we've got just about 5 seconds left. Keep that motion, squeezing that butt muscle nice and tight every single time. Now go ahead and stand up. You've got squats coming up next. Just a traditional squat, nothing fancy. Just take a second to let those legs relax a little bit, let that burn kind of subside, and start up again. Nice low squats every single time. You want to focus on getting as much range of motion as possible. Because you're not using any weight over those shoulders, you don't have to worry about keeping that back perfectly flat, but it's always a good idea to practice perfect form when you're doing these squats. So nice flat back, weight back in your heels. Make sure you're getting nice and low. Try to get those hips all the way down to that knee level so that thigh is parallel to the ground. Just keep that motion going. Nice, slow, controlled motion. Make sure you go down nice and slow and up nice and slow. Your body's going to have a tendency to want to make you move up really, really quickly to get to that rest spot at the top. To try to make sure you don't lock your knees out at the top, you always want to have those legs contracted. And we're almost done with these squats. Next we have a static squat. So you're just going to drop down to the very bottom of that range of motion, hold it. Just got a few more. Your last one, drop it down and hold. Nice low squat. Remember, try to keep those thighs parallel to the ground if you can. If you can't get quite that low, just go as low as you can control. Hold it nice and low. Try to keep everything nice and solid. Contracting those core muscles, abdominal muscles, obliques, and lower back, always nice and solid. Burn a few extra calories. Also, make sure you contract those arm muscles, that chest and that back. Get those few extra calories burnt from that as well. Now we've got just 5 seconds left till our last exercise, and of course, just to kill those legs a little bit more, we're going to be doing jump squats. Get ready, shake those legs out, and start up. Now nice deep squat every single time. Try to get as much range of motion as you can and jump as hard as possible. I know those legs are screaming at you that they don't want to do this, but force them through it. Just keep working through the burn of those legs. You want to try to get as much out of this as you possibly can. Just remember why you're doing this in the first place. You want that nice, high, tight, round butt. And this is going to give it to you if you keep it moving. Just make sure you keep going. You're almost done. Just a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and let it relax. Very good. Now shake those legs out because this workout is complete. You just finished Fitness Blender's 5-minute Booty Blast Challenge.